This video is going to be a review of the Lions defense against the Bears in their Week 14 loss in Chicago. This is kind of a difficult game to watch film of, I'll be honest with you, because the Lions actually did try, I think, to be more multiple on defense. Some different stunts and blitzes. I have in this video at least 3 blown coverages, perhaps 4 if you count a play action pass when Anzalone comes forward, and at that point you're in no man's land. If you're there, you go. But in any case, at least 2 or 3 other blown coverages. Not sure exactly whose fault it is. There's at least 2 players that are consistently involved in that. Getting back to the attempt by Aaron Glenn to at least be somewhat more versatile, something that a number of us have been calling for, a number of people who watch film, or at least people in my Discord. And that could be a negative here because it could be related to the number of blown coverages. The attempt to try to be more versatile and contain an athletic quarterback like Justin Fields just failed over the course of the 4 quarters. The Lions were able to sack him 3 times, but Fields had a critical third down touchdown run where I believe either the coaches can't make that call with the personnel that's on the field, and or Aiden Hutchinson can't go to the inside like that, understanding who the D tackle is to his side. But in any case, the game ends up being out of reach after that. 4th quarter scramble by Justin Fields makes it 25-13. Let's get to the film. This is going to be first possession, and Fields is going to scramble for 13 yards. This is a 3rd and 3. It's a blitz. So credit to the Lions for trying some different things in terms of trying to get after Fields and limit his options. You've got 5 players here on the blitz, 2 of which are D tackles. It's a 3rd and 3. Looks like 11 personnel to me. Anzalone, which is fine with me for him to be blitzing. Credit to Fields. He's able to escape this. I will say this. There's at least 3 times in this game. Look, there's 4 plays that Aiden Hutchinson makes that I'm like, wow, that's an amazing play. But there's at least 3 plays like this where I feel like he just gets rode out of there. If I didn't know it was Aiden Hutchinson, I would say this guy's too light, which, I mean, he's 6'7", 260 pounds, or at least what he's listed at. I mean, this guy gets his hands on his hips and just rides him out of there at a moment when you feel like Hutchinson is going to possibly be able to get to Justin Fields. And do I think Aiden Hutchinson is a really good football player? Yes. Right now, is he playing to the caliber that he did earlier in the year consistently over the course of the game, 4 quarters? No, I don't think he is. Extends the drive there. This is a confusing play. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, about 11:40 left in the first quarter. Again, Bears' first drive. So you've got the strong safety in the box here. 5-3 look. 12 personnel by the Bears, meaning 2 tight ends, and it's pistol option. Let you watch it once or twice through so you can see it. I just don't know what Barnes and Six are doing. I suspect that Barnes is doing what he's supposed to, step down and force a keep read. I mean, I feel like I'm a broken record here. We talked about this in the game prior to Thanksgiving Day or 4 days prior to it. Barnes stepping down is going to force the quarterback, Fields, to keep it. Someone has to gap exchange this because you're in a 5-3 look. There's no one else out there. If both guys, Barnes and Six, I suspect that Six is supposed to fold over the top, essentially gap exchange it. Looks to me like Barnes is the guy stepping down, taking it away, and then understands, he, being Barnes, understands he's going to have to redirect. How do you know that this is coming? Well, they're in the pistol, number one. I mean, generally the pistol is an option setup type of backfield alignment. They're not going in the pistol to run play action pass generally. It doesn't lend itself to play action pass to both sides of the field as well as other backfield alignments. This is a missed opportunity, if you ask me, on the first possession when they give you information, pistol, to be able to be prepared for the moment, be prepared for the types of plays that the Bears run with Justin Fields back there. Credit to Fields for being able to read it, get around the edge for 11 yards. Very next play, 1st and 10 from the 19. I like this blitz. I do. I'm not sure about what they're doing with the topside DN. It's a huge hit by Barnes, and Branch is involved too. I thought this was a forced fumble, to be honest with you. Fields going to get out of here, only ends up getting 3 yards. I mean, the burst of Branch to get here and get involved in the play, and then Barnes, who lays 2 shots on Fields in this game, if you ask me. I thought it looked like a fumble. Ball looks out to me, but I guess they're saying the ground caused the fumble. I think I'll show you the end zone angle of this one. I do. So Branch is off screen to our right. He's going to blitz. They're going to stem. I think it's Pascal inside. 96 going to try to loop around. I wonder about how far Pascal gets rode out of here. So he's lined up at 5 technique to our right. You can see Branch blitzing off this side. 96 is getting ready to loop around. I wonder if you shouldn't be doing this with another player. Granted, it is 1st and 10, so it's a potential rundown. But watch how far Pascal gets rode out of here. And when Fields steps up, with Branch taken over by the running back, almost gets a sack. No one is there. To me, Pascal is the guy who can't get rode that far out of there such that he ends up basically on the other side of the hash when he lined up somewhere over here in terms of his feet. Granted, he's stemming down, and the offensive lineman took him down. I feel like he's got to step to his gap and then get upfield so that you don't open up this wide lane for Fields to scramble through. But in any case, it only ends up being a 3-yard gain. I'm just showing you, I think, attempts by the Lions to be a little bit multiple in dealing with the threat that Justin Fields is. Very next play, 2nd and 7 from the 16. Of course, it's a trick play, the sweep to DJ Moore. What bothers me here is that this is the only guy communicating. 6. I'm not even going to try to say his name. Feel free in the comment section to spell it out for me again. I don't know him well enough, but what I do know is he's the only guy. I mean, you've got a quarterback in the backfield, and then he motions out. Something's up. No one. Do you see anyone for the Lions communicating? Is there anyone jumping up and down? Is there anyone getting excited about okay, there's something irregular coming. We've got the quarterback lined up out here. I mean, depending on your perspective on what football is, I hope this dude runs a route so I can smack him in his face. I hope they run this sweep to this guy, or I hope they give it to the quarterback coming back here because I'm going to knock him out. I mean, no one is communicating anything. I don't see any level of communication here other than 6 communicating to Kirby Joseph that he needs to stay over there. And, of course, he doesn't. You have Branch for the sweep with Fields. Jack Campbell also appears to be slow playing it. Fine, one or both of those guys. Okay, you can't have all 3. So someone, Campbell, Joseph, whatever, has got to be involved in the sweep. Just absolutely outnumbered there, number 1. Number 2, just no block destruction. I mean, this is a running back blocking one of your defensive players. This is also Alex Anzalone being blocked. No block destruction at all. I mean, that's Hutchinson unable to get away from a running back, a pin down by the running back 23. If you are who you want to be, and you're Aiden Hutchinson, you destroy that block and you at least get involved in the play. No one is able to stop DJ Moore from streaking up the left sideline. You probably don't like the tone of my voice, the way that I'm talking about it, but it bothers me when there's no communication there. First possession of the game on the road, and you're the Lions. You need a win to get to 10-3. No one had any passion, preparation, or communication prior to that snap. I think that's important. So I think this play is kind of a reaction to that first possession. This is second possession, 3rd and 8 from the negative 11-yard line. And I think this is a pissed-off defense. I think this is a pissed-off call by the defense coordinator. Bringing 6 here. You got a clear hold, I think, on the running back against Alex Anzalone. But, man, look at Justin. You're a Lions fan, listen this long. You don't want to hear this, but, like, the dude's just a special athlete. That's an amazing play. I'm a Ravens fan, so, of course, I've seen damn near every Lamar Jackson snap since 2018 when he was named a starter. This is the type of stuff that Lamar does. I think you've got a clear hold here. Unless the refs feel like Anzalone is giving this guy his chest to try to draw a penalty. It certainly looks like one to me. I think I'll show you the end zone angle. Anzalone and Hutchinson there. I do wonder about Hutchinson's weight to frame balance, because there are times where he seems to be getting expanded, pushed out further by offensive linemen than he needs to be in order to make a play. Let me put it to you that way. It's possible that he needs to be stronger in his hips and his base and his core so he doesn't get expanded on some of these plays. I mean, some of this is natural that it's going to happen. This is the same play, end zone angle, heavy blitz, like I said. Fields is going to get out of there. I mean, to me, this is an obvious hold here. It just looks like a hold, even if I didn't see his hands there. when a defensive player who's rushing to the quarterback ends up getting turned around. I don't think Alex Anzalone played well. Clearly a missed tackle. You probably have another hold here that they're not going to call. Barnes is the last guy that potentially could make a play here. Unable to get to him. Fields just too fast, 19 yards. 2 plays later, I believe. Bears did this a couple of times during the game, lined up in diamond, 12 personnel. Maybe 18's a receiver, but receiver tight end hybrid is what he looks like to me. And this is your best against, Mooney down here at the bottom side. And Sutton damn near makes a play on this. But, man, credit to Justin Fields. He just scrambled for 19 yards. On the first possession, he read the option for 11 yards around the edge. And here he's delivering a strike in the only place that this can be completed. I think it's a great challenge by Sutton. I mean, the margin for error in the NFL is small. And on this play, Justin Fields lived up to the task. You got to give him credit. Sometimes that's just the way it is. And Mooney gets out of there. Big gain, I think, 27, 28 yards. They give Anzalone a penalty at the end there because he clearly made contact out of bounds. 2 plays later, I believe, you got a 3rd and 9 from the 15. Lions are able to get a stop here, at least in terms of holding the Bears to a field goal because you got a blitz by Reeves-Maben. He looks like a viable option on some of these pass plays, to be honest with you. His ability to blitz here. I think he had a blitz last week against the Saints that didn't look bad. In pass coverage, I think he looks better than Barnes does in pass coverage, and Jack Campbell to a certain extent as well. It's a nice blitz, a nice job, if you ask me, of Pascal as a 3 technique. I think this is the guy that's got to be on the field as a D tackle, as opposed to some of the other guys. I'm not talking about Kaminsky. I'm talking about 94. I'm talking about 96. Pascal's the guy who can do some of this. You can see he stunted across. Reeves-Maben has looped around, and it works. You got a sack for a loss of 15 yards. Ends up being a field goal for the Bears. At least to this point, the Lions are using multiple blitzes and attempting to get to the quarterback, even though in some cases Fields is still getting away. Don't get me wrong. I think you at least have evidence that Aaron Glenn and those guys are trying to make something happen. All right, here's where things get a little poor, if you ask me, in the pass game. 3rd possession, this is 14 minutes left in the second quarter, so you got 12 personnel, base defense on the field for the Lions. I don't know who blows this coverage. You got Barnes here. You got 6 here. Campbell and Anzalone are the guys involved in this, if you ask me. This looks like it should be 3 deep, 3 under. If 6 is blitzing, which it appears that he is, 5-man blitz. It only leaves 6 defenders. So 3 deep, 3 under. We would call this a zone blitz. But no one's dropping out from the first level. No D lineman, no D tackle or anything is dropping out. All 5 guys are blitzing. Kind of reminds me of a play from last week against the Saints from the opposite side of the field. If it is a zone blitz, you got to be hot too, and you got to be hot too. Now, this is a zone turn to get depth, a zone turn to get depth, and then Jack Campbell, I think this Jack Campbell will be in the middle of the field, 3 deep, 3 under coverage. As it stands, the tight end releases inside. Barnes kind of zones this off. And then Campbell kind of takes this guy over. Campbell lets him go. There's nobody else to take him. I mean, other than Kirby Joseph. You can see Fields is letting go of the football here already. Like I said, it's a 1st and 10. Ends up being a big completion to Kmet for 41 yards. I don't pretend to know exactly who is at fault, but if this is what I think it is, 3 deep, 3 under, then Anzalone has got to be cognizant and aware of number 2 to his side, and Barnes has got to be cognizant and aware of number 2 to his side. I think both of those guys, I don't want to say lock up in man, but those are the players you're responsible for in that coverage. Campbell, if you ask me, once he gets the tight end passed off to him, regardless of whether Barnes is there or not, I think Campbell's got to do a better job of staying close to that guy as well. It ends up being 41 yards. My suspicion is that Barnes and Campbell are the guys who are responsible for that. But again, I don't know the coverage there. I'm just telling you what it looks like. Same possession, 3rd possession, 3rd and 3 from the 40. The Lions did a better job of defending direct flow stuff. So this is Fields, split zone, quarterback split zone, really. He just tries to hit it front side, get the first down. Ends up getting 2 yards. Lions, I thought, are prepared with their personnel and what Aaron Glenn wants to do anyway to defend things that are direct flow. As teams have found out, quarterbacks with an athletic quarterback, at least the teams that have an athletic quarterback, get into some of those irregular situations, and it's tougher for the Lions to defend it, maybe because of personnel, maybe because of scheme, maybe because of lack of preparedness, like I talked about on the first possession on DJ Moore's touchdown run. So this is the ensuing 4th and 1 after that 2-yard run by Fields. Moore is the tailback. Fields at quarterback. You're going to get full flow by these two guys here. Going to hold some defenders to the top side. Man, this is a great job by Six and by Pascal. They both get credit for the tackle, I believe. It's no gain. Brilliant job of Six fronting up DJ Moore, being basically the force player, not allowing Moore to get to the outside. Moore's just trying to get the first down, and Pascal comes in from an inside-out angle after stepping down. This is a brilliant play. To this point, you're talking about the Lions defense had at least been able to get, one stop on the third possession and then hold them to a field goal on the second one. At halftime, was it working? Well, the Lions had a 13-10 lead. And the defensively, you're halfway to giving up 20 points. So I would say that, yes, it is working, even though Fields was able to get away from the pass rush multiple times. Aaron Glenn, the defensive staff, are at least trying something to prevent him from doing so. Third quarter, while the offense for the Lions, clearly self-destructs, this is going to be a 2nd and 6 pass over the middle to Mooney. Anzalone gets a run read here. He's got full flow to his side. So I suspect that Anzalone is supposed to be the guy somewhere around the hash. There's just no way for the other inside linebacker to that side, I guess this is Campbell right here, to be able to be responsible for someone on that hash. Additionally, you've got a safety dropping down. This is Anzalone. I believe he came downhill because he's read and run, and there becomes a certain point where your inside linebacker, nickel, or strong safety, whatever, second-level defender, where you're wrong, but you're too far downfield to turn and try to get back in your drop. I mean, there was a wrong read technique where you turn your back and you bust your tail to get back into your, quote, zone. I'm not exactly sure what's being played here. Barnes, again, it's play action, and that can kind of mess up the staggering of the zone coverage. So, zone coverage, like, for example, cover 3, you think, all right, it's going to be an underneath umbrella of 4 defenders and then 3 deep DBs, and it looks really nice to draw it up on paper or even on the screen. That doesn't look nice. I don't know what the hell that looked like. But on play action, it kind of destroys the flow of that. Your linebackers, your safeties come downhill a little bit, and there's a staggering. So it's a little bit more difficult to tell here. My suspicion is that Anzalone is supposed to be somewhere in this area. I'm not sure what this safety is doing because this is a 2nd and 6. The sticks or the yard to gain is here. So he just could be spinning down to help out with a deeper in cut or a deeper curl, which is what you got here. Joseph had some awareness of this guy in the middle of the field, Mooney, who ends up making the catch. One thing I'll say about Joseph is I felt like last year there was times where he would see something and go. He seems to be less aggressive this year. I'm certainly not blaming this on him at all, but he's definitely got awareness that guy is wide open there. And for whatever reason, Six isn't able to spin over there. He's also got a player in the flats to his side. So just wide open in the middle of the field. The play-action nature of it, I think, is what really destroyed the coverage element. And you can see Joseph is sitting there talking with, I believe, Jacobs right now. 3rd and 8, same possession, early third quarter. And this is going to be to DJ Moore along the left side. Now, I'm showing you this one because it relates to the 4th down touchdown later. This is DJ Moore against Jerry Jacobs. I like Jerry Jacobs, and I thought he played really well earlier in the season, particularly with 3 or maybe 4 interceptions. If it's only 3 interceptions, there was a 4th one that I thought he was really close to getting. But in any case, this is not a great matchup. It's just not. I mean, raise your hand if you think this is a great matchup. If we were in a coach's office meeting planning for this game, we would say this is not the matchup that we think we're going to win 7, 8 times out of 10. Maybe you disagree with me, but Justin Fields certainly knows where to go. He's looked over here immediately, got man coverage. Jacobs is certainly playing off a little bit. He doesn't want to get beat deep. Nice little timing route. Great catch by DJ Moore. We'll come back to that matchup later on the 4th and 13. That drive for the Bears ended in a field goal in the third quarter to tie it at 13. Lions end up punting 2 times in the quarter, sandwiched around 1 defensive stop. So this is now late third quarter. It's going to be a 2nd and 13. This is not the same possession as what I just showed you. This is about 2:30 left in the third quarter. Man, Barnes lays a huge shot on Justin Fields here. This is the kind of thing where I think this defense needs something like this, like a huge play, a huge turnover. Barnes is a finisher, I think, in these situations. I understand why they played him more at outside linebacker 9 technique in this game. I feel like he's better coming forward than he is going back. I remember the time when they put Jack Campbell as a 9 technique outside linebacker earlier in the season, particularly against the Ravens. Wasn't suited for that role. I think Derek Barnes seems like a guy who plays better coming downhill. In this case, he gets his hands on a defender, swipes past him, and really lays a shot on Justin Fields. One more play after that one was an incomplete pass to Cole Kmet, and this is the 4th and 13. I don't know who to blame some of this stuff on. This guy's going to spin down. You're going to end up with trips to the top side because this tight end 83 motions over. Let me get him there. And I'm just not sure why there is no help at all for Jerry Jacobs against DJ Moore. If you're a coach and you're sitting up in the box and you see how easily Moore won on that third down, the possession before, the one that I showed you, the little timing out down here to the bottom side of the screen, are you surprised at how this worked out? I'm not. I mean, I hate to say that about Jerry Jacobs because I respect the dude and I like his game. I just feel like this is a situation where his coaches put him in a spot that he's not going to win the majority of the time. I'd like to see if you're going to play 2-man, which it looks like you got man here, and man here. Hutchinson, who jumped off sides and it was called, ends up dropping back for whatever reason. I'd like to see one safety be told, be between the hash and the top of the numbers, closer to the top of the numbers, because we got DJ Moore over there. Other safety, same thing, be between the hash and the top of the numbers, closer to the top of the numbers. Be able to help out with a vertical, but it's not what the Lions chose to do. Didn't get pressure either in that situation. It's an interesting call. I'm sure that Lions media, Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, have probably addressed it at this point. As I record this late Tuesday night, I've now been able to watch the full defensive game 2 times through, and this play is one that confuses me from a coaching standpoint. It just doesn't seem like the type of situation you would want to put Jerry Jacobs in. If it's 4th and 13 and it's me, I'd like to see Cam Sutton on him, but I understand there's only one Cam Sutton, and they've got DJ Moore, and Mooney has been able to burn you a couple times during the game as well. So that one put the Bears up 19-13 after the extra point was blocked. Lions turn the football over late third quarter. This is the last play of the third quarter, a 2nd and 6. The Bears have taken possession after that aforementioned fumble or that fumbled snap. And I think this is on Barnes, but I could be wrong. I just don't know who else is supposed to cover this. You got 12 personnel. So the Lions are in their base defense. The strong safety, 6, is down here into the boundary. And the Bears smartly attack to the field with the running back. It looks to me like Barnes steps down to the tackle and then realizes it's pass, tries to get back out there. My suspicion is that this is a blown cover 3. I'll let it run through one more time, and you guys are welcome to let me know if you have more information about it, number 1, or number 2, if you have a different opinion. Stop it here in a moment and show you what I mean by cover 3. So the indicator for me is the strong safety here. So let's watch him to the boundary side of the field. He tries to get, back out into the flats. Again, it's play action, which kind of destroys the delineation of it. Campbell is usually the guy that recognizes play action first, and to me, that's why he's got more depth this way. So I think you've got 2 underneath droppers, 3 underneath droppers, deep third defender, middle of the field free safety, deep third defender. We're missing someone over here, and just the sheer nature that Barnes is the guy who tries to retreat in that area pretty much tells me he's the guy that was supposed to be there. Again, that's a 2nd and 6, last play of the third quarter. Huge moment, if you ask me, that the Lions were not able to get a stop here. Again, they're down 19-13. Offense is betraying the team clearly by turning the football over and not being able to generate points at all in the third quarter. You'd like to see the defense be able to get a stop, but just don't think that the talent is there such that you can make up for offensive deficiencies that last 15 minutes. And what I mean is, if you have one possession or maybe two where the offense is ineffective, the Lions were able to get one stop in the third quarter. To ask them to get 2 or 3 or 4 in a row while the offense self-destructs, I think is too much. 3 plays into the fourth quarter. This is the last play that I'll show you. I just don't like the personnel here. It is a 3rd and goal from the 11. So when I say I don't like the personnel, let me go to the end zone angle first. If this is what Hutchinson's supposed to do, if he's supposed to go to the inside and you're looping someone else around, let's just accept for a moment that that is what's supposed to occur on this play, that's the call. I want someone out there who's a little bit more athletic than Onwuzurike. Hopefully I said his name correctly. I think he's got a bright future. I think he's a good player. To me, I want someone else out there who can loop outside and be a little bit more athletic than he can. I don't think you have the personnel on the field here to rush the passer and contain Justin Fields while looping your best pass rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, inside. Not being disparaging towards Hutchinson, I'm saying if this is the group you're going to have on the field and it's a right-handed quarterback, I want Hutchinson to try to contain the quarterback. I want him to be the guy on the edge. There's no one there now. Now, it's a great job by the tackle, stepping down, recognizing the stunt, and pinning 91 inside. This is too easy. This is too easy to allow Justin Fields. Let's go back to the all-22 so you can see it. You got to be able to defend the pass too, but the guys up front are the dudes who are trying to get to the quarterback. You got Pascal and Hutchinson, the 2 guys on the field at D-line here that you would say are the best 2 pass rushers of the 4 that are there. I just don't think that's enough. If you ask me, I would like to see Pascal inside, Barnes outside on the other side. I feel like he's better coming downhill. I'd like to see Bruce Irvin out there for real, but he wasn't active for the game. And then Kaminsky as well. It's 3rd and 11. I mean, you see where the ball's marked. I'm not making this shit up. You know it's a pass. I'm not sure why you have actual D tackles on the field that aren't really going to be much of a use to you if and when Justin Fields breaks contain. If you're able to get a stop here, it's 22-13, presumably after a field goal, and you're still only down by 9. A touchdown and a field goal wins you the football game. I think this is a tactical error by the defensive staff. Does it fall on Aaron Glenn? Well, yeah, sure, he's a defensive coordinator, but who knows who makes the D-line stunt calls. I just don't like this one with the personnel on the field and the fact that it's Justin Fields at quarterback. If it's Derek Carr and you want to run that, or if it's Jameis Winston and you want to run that, seems like a good option to me. This team hasn't had trouble against the less athletic quarterbacks. In my opinion, that call right there is an illustration of one of the reasons why when things go bad against athletic quarterbacks, they go really bad. There's some blown coverages in here as well. I did name Campbell, Barnes. Anzalone certainly did not play one of his better games. There's no doubt about that. I think that's pretty obvious with some of the penalties he got, his inability to get off blocks. He didn't look completely healthy to me. 6, whose name I won't try to butcher again. I suspect he's involved in 1 or 2 of the blown coverages. When you're trying to be more multiple, that's the type of thing you open yourself up to. It's also possible that the Lions should have been trying to be more multiple throughout the season. So some of those issues would have been ironed out by now when they try to become more multiple and contain an athletic quarterback at the same time. Hopefully I was able to go through some of these plays in a way that revealed something to you. Clearly there's some things that I would miss. Feel free to let me know what information you have from press conferences or other Detroit media sources about any of the plays that I talked about and maybe mistook for one coverage when in fact it was another. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Lions fans would enjoy, well, maybe enjoy isn't the right word, would want to look at this video to see what some of the problems were on Sunday against the Bears, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.